Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. This is Saturday. I think. I'm tired. I shouldn't even be on the air right now. I should be in bed, but I can't sleep. So we're going to do a show and try to have fun for the next 2 hours or until I pass out at the mic. Hope you guys are well. Hope you have a great day. Yeah, I actually had a decent day. Just, the normal stuff. But I'm sitting here trying to get myself ready for sleep, and I don't know why I did it. I really don't. I know better. I I should be relaxing. I should be deep breathing or something. Watching a nice comedy movie or something to just bring Monkey to his happy place. And instead I went to the dumpster fire that is Twitter. Oh dear God. Twitter, Twitter, Twitter. Twitter, Twitter, Twitter. I love you. But good God. It I am 99% sure any heart trouble I actually do have comes from Twitter. And don't get me wrong, guys. I love Twitter. You guys know I do. It's one of those annoyances that you enjoy. Do you guys have any of those in your life? I yes, understatement. I did get your DM about Fuentes. I'm pretty sure he's been on there before. At least I know he's talked with Myron before. This is about Nick Fuentes going on Fresh and Fit with a bunch of black women and telling them why he doesn't believe in interracial marriage or dating. By the way, Nick Fuentes is the product of interracial relationships. What a fucking scumbag. Anyhow, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're actually here to talk about um, gay people having babies. This is not a conversation I expected to be having. And I'm going to tell you right now, some of you are not going to like my take on this, especially you more conservative minded folks, because on this one, I tend to be more liberal on it. And I want to talk specifically about something the Quartering wrote on Twitter that just annoyed me. It just fucking annoyed me. If you want to be against gay adoption, cool. By all means. But make an argument. Make a good argument. He didn't make a good argument. He actually said something kind of stupid. And the way he wrote it was even dumber. Should I say things like that? Am I poisoning the well a little bit there? I feel like I'm poisoning the well. So let me read it and you guys I'll tell you why I think it's dumb. And then you can decide if I have a point or not. So this all started because there was a video going around of this gay couple, gay as in, couple of guys, not lesbians. And it's a doctor bringing their baby to them. The surrogate had just had the baby, and actually it wasn't even a surrogate, it was an adoption. And the birth mother had pushed out the little kid, squirted the little bastard out. And I don't know if it's actually a bastard. I'm guessing so if mom gave it up for adoption. And takes it and gives it to the gay couple who squeal like, okay, I do want to say this about that gay couple. Y'all are doing the stereotype thing and you really need to stop it because it just looks bad. But anyway, a lot of people got mad about this. A lot of people got mad about this gay couple being given a kid. Like, oh my God, how can you give two men a baby? All right. I mean, I guess. But the Quartering chimes in. He tells people why he's mad about it. He said, babies deserve a mother and a father, not to be sold as an accessory for gay couples. The two men are adopting. Adopting is in quotations. I don't understand why. The two men are adopting a newborn baby. There are untold thousands of mothers and fathers on waiting lists. This is willingly giving the child suboptimal conditions to grow up. That's why. All right. Snubber, thank you so much. Given my time in retail, I know gay men I'd rather have kids than single mothers. Women I knew treated their kids like purple hearts they earned back. Me, the lot of them. Well, he mentions at the top that not sold as accessories. Do you know how many women I know who treat their kids like an accessory? Like they're those little furry fucking dogs people used to stick in those ugly purses. But the part that really annoyed me about this is this word right here, deserve. Babies deserve a mother and father. okay, all right. Or babies deserve a mother and father. So I asked the question. And as with most of the times I asked the quartering things, he didn't answer, but a couple of his fans did. But I asked him, I said, okay, if babies deserve a mother, what happens if a mom and dad have a baby, right? And then the mom dies? Should the father be forced to remarry, or should they take the baby away if he doesn't? Because that child deserves a mom? I was told that was a ridiculous hypothetical. Apparently, mothers never die. Mine didn't die at 14. I didn't go the last 4 years of my childhood without my mother. I guess I made that shit up. But I disagree with you on this one. That's fine. You can disagree. The arguments that I'm getting over here on Twitter are nonsensical, and I guess I should go through them. Let's see. I was told that the single father, he could get a kind of surrogate mom, either through like a stepmother marrying, which kind of goes to my point of should they be forced to marry, or like an aunt or a family member who could kind of fill in as the motherly role. Well, why couldn't gay men do that? Why couldn't gay men have a another figure like their mom or their sister, somebody else to provide that motherly role? Here's let me just give you my take, okay, on the optimal way to raise kids. It's very much in line with what Jordan Peterson said that he got in so much trouble for. But the ideal way, yes, mom and a dad, because it's the norm. And not just the norm, it is the biological norm, right? I mean, that's how you make a baby, mom and dad. But what I believe more than that is that children need a good male influence in their life and a good female influence in their life. And there's no reason a gay couple couldn't have friends that fill the role that they're missing. Like two lesbians who have male friends who kind of act as surrogate uncles for the kid, or a gay couple who has a good friend who's female, who provides the more female thing. I think what they need is that influence more than they need necessarily mom and dad. I think two parents is optimal because, well, it just makes it easier on everybody. You guys ever raise a kid, having two people there is just nice. So every so often, one of them can get a nap. Cas1X, thanks so much. He's such a hypocrite, was going about how he doesn't support attacking, harassing people. He was laughing about Mulvaney being accosted outside the bathroom. Also, it sounds like you're just saying kids need to be raised by a top and a bottom. No, I mean, I guess you could say that in the heterosexual world, right? The mom's the bottom, hopefully, or maybe she's the top. Maybe I'm not involved in other people's sexual relationships, but I was told that a man and a woman they model a good relationship. I'm like, well, why can't gay people model a good relationship? And I was told, well, a heterosexual they can conceive and birth. And I'm like, yeah, but the child doesn't see that. Hopefully the child's not watching mom and dad banging. Like, oh, that's how you do it. They would know mom's pregnant, and as they get older, they would learn how that happened and be like, oh God, my parents did that again. But how would that be any different than like a surrogate or an adoptive mom where they're like, oh, yes, she's pregnant now and the baby will be out in 9 months? It wouldn't be any different how you tell the kids about it. Maybe in the heterosexual couple, they'd get to feel the baby kick and mom would be in the house and throw up a lot and then, get really fat. But where's the difference there? That's my question. If two dads can't do it, why can one? If two dads can't do it, why can one? And none of the arguments that I've seen have challenged me in a way that actually makes me think I'm wrong here. Now, again, maybe I am. Maybe I am. But everything that's been said, at least to me, is nonsensical. Not every kid sees their mom pregnant. They could be an only child or the last child. True, true. A mom and dad each teach their children different things, and many are subtle lessons. Um, okay. Again, in that instance, though, why would a single mom or single dad be okay, but not two moms or two dads? That's the point I'm getting at. Is if mom and dad is how we're supposed to do it, why would it be okay for a single parent? Should we take all of the children away from single parents and give them to people who are looking to adopt? By the way, unless it's a baby, they're not getting adopted most of the time anyway. None of those are ideal. True, none of them are ideal. But I don't hear anybody out there say, "Hey, you can't be a single dad. You, sorry, no, can't be a single dad. Got to take that kid away from you." Eh. My big question is, are both mentally stable? Yeah, I mean, that's ideally that's what you're looking for. Are they going to have a good home? Are they going to be loved and cared for? That's my big concern. I would kill for my boy. Yeah, I understand that completely. Snubber, thank you so much. Now, modern LGBTQ under 25. Yeah, I have concerns. They act like 15 till they are terminally on Twitter. Also, we apparently have to tell them male breastfeeding is bad. Oh, don't get off. I'm going to. We'll get to that, Snub. We will get to that again. We talked about that briefly last night. I'm just not understanding why a single parent is okay, but not two parents of the same sex. That's my only. If somebody can explain to me why one is okay, and I get that you say not ideal, but I see people saying gay people can't adopt a kid. They shouldn't have. This is him explaining why. The question to Jeremy is: it's unclear why this video, why there's so much vitriol towards this gay couple for adopting a baby. It appears to be coming from the same people who are against abortion. Is this just hatred of gays? What am I missing? And instead of even considering that this gay couple might actually want a child and raise it as normally as they possibly can, it's just an accessory that was sold to the gay couple. I I just don't understand. I don't. It's bad enough that we have so many single moms raising boys who have no dads to keep them in line during their teens. With the lack of fathers, I feel like two fathers might be a good thing. I think the better question is, would it be better for a kid to be adopted or left in an orphanage? I mean, that is a good question, but the reason I'm using the question I am is because this is directly in response to something. Transgender should not be allowed to be around churches, mosquitoes, and children. Wow. What do they do to mosquitoes? I would say that now when it comes to trans people, I will say this. I don't think they should have kids because dysphoria is a mental illness. And I don't think that you give kids to mentally ill people. We take kids away from mentally ill people. Probably get in trouble for that one because we're not supposed to point out that dysphoria is a mental illness, especially when most people today that are claiming to be trans don't have dysphoria. They are just using it as a goddamn costume. They're wearing trans face all the time. But still, sorry. It doesn't say mosquitoes. That says mosque. Oh my God. That does say mosque, doesn't it? I really should have my fucking glasses on. Jack, did I not? I sent you the link, dude. Oh, you're telling me you're in the chat. Hey, dude, what's up? I never heard. I'm sorry, bud.
No, no worries. How's it going?
It's not bad. Just little annoyed with old Jeremy there.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Jack.
What?
I was just gonna say before we get to that, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm not having a spectacular day. Beyond that, it is what it is.
I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. I hope it gets better for you during the course of the show.
I hope so too. Also, I have a giant patch of poison ivy on my arm that's
Oh, fuck.
driving me up a wall.
Frank, thank you so much. I am just worried that a gay couple would abuse the child. I know a heterosexual or lesbian couple could as well, and maybe it's a phobia, but that is my fear. I know not all heterosexuals are that way, or homosexuals are that way, but many seem to be. I think anytime you're giving a kid well, even people having kids, anytime a kid is introduced into a situation, there's a chance that they can be abused, and it's not gay or straight. It's just bad fucking people.
Yeah.
But anyway, Jack, um, Jeremy here said that kids deserve a mom and a dad, and this is all because of a gay couple getting a child, and people got pissed off about it. Thoughts, feelings?
I think Jeremy's wrong because I've seen my two dads, and Paul Reiser and BJ and the Bear did a great job raising Stacy Keegan.
They
I had a
did.
huge crush on her back in the day.
Oh, me too.
She's so adorable. But look, no, I know a few gay couples that would be good parents, but most gays I know, they don't want to be around children. They they're a little grossed out by the concept of them because
I know.
children are
I know.
icky.
There's a lot of let's call them younger people these days that are straight that are the same way, which I just don't get. I love kids.
I like the concept of children, but they're always trying to touch my stuff and break things and run
Children
toward
do.
danger.
Children break things and they make messes, but they also warm the heart.
That's what people tell me, but I think it's different when they're yours.
There's zero kids with two dads, not biological fathers, but that adoption video, that child absolutely has two dads now. Legally has two dads now.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it really does come down to the people and
Sure.
how good of people they are and what issues they've got. Just like straights, it's really kind of the same thing. You get crazy meth heads with kids. You're gonna have problems with the gays. It's just statistics. Real fast. So thank you, Chaos1X. 2 reasons for your day to suddenly get better. You aren't Jarbo, Jeremy, inserted the other multitude of embarrassing YouTubers. And I gave you $5. That's a really good point, Chaos1X. Much appreciated. And that does make me feel a little better. Although I wish this poison ivy would go away. Oh man, it's a giant patch right at the elbow joint.
Ooh.
So every time I bend my arm, it itches, driving me up a wall.
I do
But
think
I can't get any formaldehyde, so
fair enough. It'll go away in a couple days.
it's already been 2 days. It's actually gotten a little worse, so I don't know. But if
Don't scratch it.
I know that's the worst part. Is well, right where it is. Every time I bend my arm, it might as well be scratching it. But my great aunt, used to have a son that was a mortician, and she'd put formaldehyde on it, and it'd go away in like a day. I'm like, yeah, you're killing all the cells of your skin, you lunatic. But it was effective, and I understand her better now.
Back to the subject before we wrap it up. I do want to say this. I think any parent, whether it's two gay dads or a single dad or a family, I think kids do need a role model, both male and female. And you should be wanting to bring that into your child's life. That doesn't necessarily mean a single dad needs to go out and get married. As brought up before, for all of these folks, there are people in your family. You have sisters, you have moms, you have friends who can fill that role. Is it as good as having mom in the home? No. But what they need is the example. And same with single moms. Single moms should have a male in that child's life. Dad's run away, he's still out for cigarettes, fine. They should know who your dad is or your uncle or somebody to have that male role model in their life. That's what is missing so much in this country, Jack, is the role models of male and female, because a lot of people suck today.
And they were raised by women.
They were raised by a bunch of bad people. So
yeah. Sorry, I'm just being redundant.
I don't care if gay people adopt as long as they take care of the kids. That's what's important to me. But Jack, I did say this right before you came in. I don't think trans people should be able to adopt because they have a mental illness. What do you think?
I think I'm not touching that hot button issue with someone else's wiener.
That's fair
So
enough. That's fair enough.
I'm gonna let you flail on that one. Sorry, buddy.
I'm not flailing. I believe that 100%. We would not, if somebody went to adopt and they wrote on their adoption agency form, it's a mom and a dad, like mom is bipolar, untreated. We wouldn't go, yeah, give that woman a kid.
Well, I'm not disagreeing. If I saw somebody was a paranoid schizophrenic on their adoption form, I don't think they should have a child. So I'll just kind of leave it at that.
So untreated mental illness, and no, that doesn't mean cutting off your boobies or your wiener. That's not treatment. But untreated mental illness, no, you shouldn't have a kid. Just saying. Anyway, let's move along, shall we? Because there's other people who pissed me off today.
Oh, it's been a crazy day.
Snubberth brought this up at the beginning of the show. Lindsey Graham, this stupid jackass. Jack, he actually threw out today that we should right now immediately invite Ukraine into NATO.
That's funny because I have a thing on Ukraine. No, Lindsey Graham's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, if we invited them into NATO right now, that immediately kicks off World War III. Immediately.
Yeah, well, he is so thirsty for a war. Oh, he just has a major erection for going to war with Russia for some reason.
You know why? Because he's not the one that'll be fighting over there. It'll be my kids. This guy's a douchebag. Lindsey, seriously, this is what he said. Hang on, let me bring it on the screen here. That's my Bring It on the Screen song.
Oh, I liked that. I thought it was very catchy.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I will be working with Republicans and Democrats in the Senate to pass a resolution urging the admission of Ukraine into NATO. The best way to prevent future wars and promote peace is to create security guarantees that make aggressor nations think twice before starting wars. Ukrainian NATO membership is vital to the future security of Europe and the world. I believe there's overwhelming majority of senators supporting this proposition. Yeah, because you're all a bunch of warmongering fuckheads. This literally would immediately kick off World War III because we would immediately have to go defend Ukraine.
I just thought of something. What if
What's that?
Lindsey Graham is the reason that the quarter is opposed to gays adopting kids?
I'd probably be with him on that one.
Yeah, we're just referencing specifically Lindsey Graham.
Just Lindsey Graham, because I don't think warmongers like him should have kids.
Yeah.
Seriously, this is just asking to kick off World War III, which, by the way, I had a discussion about this. World War III will end with a nuke going off. At least one.
Oh, at least one. Probably a few. But yeah, he's a warmonger. Of course he wants to not only bring this corrupt nation to the fold, he's probably got them laundering some of his money, but he has called for Putin's assassination, which is stupid. He's called for giving them a lot more equipment than we should have already given them. The guy's a total warmonger, so he's thirstier for World War III than Cardi B is for strangers.
Frank Valentine, thank you. Real question is, what percentage was he promised? That's a good question. Very good question.
Yeah.
In this same vein, please let me say one more time, fuck Lindsey Graham. What a piece of shit. This came out today, which World War III might kick off any fucking way. The Pentagon officially announced that the U.S. will provide cluster munitions to Ukraine, vowing the U.S. will not leave Ukraine defenseless and asserting that Kiev has promised to use the controversial bombs carefully.
And that's what I was going to bring up. I just dropped that article, but can we watch a clip before we go any further? Because this is related.
We can try to. My internet is
Okay.
acting pretty crappy. Which one?
It's the
Oh,
Twitter link.
oh, gotcha. Okay. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. We'll share this tab instead. Oh, this is old Jen Psaki.
Yes, this is from 2022, I believe.
There are reports of illegal cluster bombs and vacuum bombs being used by the Russians. If that's true, what is the next step of this administration? And is there a red line for how much violence will be tolerated against civilians in this manner that's illegal and potentially a war crime?
It would be. I don't have any confirmation of that. We have seen the reports. If that were true, it would potentially be a war crime. Obviously, there are a range of international fora that would assess that. So certainly, we would look to that to be a part of that conversation.
Yeah, Russia using cluster bombs. It's probably a war crime, Jack.
Yep. Yeah, but we give it if we're giving them to the Russians. Oh, nothing to see here.
Well, let's be honest, Jack. Let's be honest about this. These assholes get their hands on these cluster munitions. And guys, the reason that these are outlawed in a lot of places is because they are incredibly unpredictable in what they're going to kill. They're not precise at all. And yeah, a lot of civilians are going to die. Now, let's say, for argument's sake, Jack, let me just throw out this scenario. The Ukrainians blow up a bunch of their own people, and I'll even say it this way, on accident. They fucked up, they read the manual wrong, and they didn't fire the cluster bomb far enough. So instead of hitting where the Russians are, it lands smack dab in the middle of Kiev, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to get blamed?
They're going to blame the Russians first.
Yep. They blame the Russians for that Polish bombing.
Yep.
And then they were like, oh, yeah, sorry, that was us. And that was the end of it. That was the end of it. They attacked a NATO nation. Ukraine attacked a NATO nation, tried to frame the fucking Russians for it, and everybody just let it drop. These motherfuckers keep showing these hospitals, which are already empty, that the Russians have hit with munitions. Why'd they hit them? Because they're putting soldiers in there, which is a war crime. You are not supposed to be putting, there's rules to war, Jack, which I don't quite understand, but we do have them. And one of them is you don't put your armed forces in fucking hospitals and schools. And that's where they're putting them. And then the places are getting blown up and like, look at how they blew up this hospital. No dead patients, oddly. You would think with the half of the building being gone because of a Russian bomb that maybe somebody would have at least had blood on them.
No. Remember, dead people can move in Ukraine.
They don't even limp, Jack.
No.
They walk out on their own. Like, see, that none of them even in like hospital gowns or even a fucking robe. They're just like, oh yeah, these are the people that they bombed.
Is Rumble not working?
It was working. Why?
Oh, I can't get it to play.
Oh. It's showing on my side that it should be. Let me go over and see if it's working for me.
Yeah, I've got waiting for an encoder server to claim placeholder video, whatever the hell all that means.
Really? What the fuck is that? All right. I have no idea what's going on there, Jack. You want to talk to the audience for a minute while I try to look into this?
Sure. What's up, audience? Staying sexy. I'm just good at derailing things today, apparently. Let's see. Stray rocket hitting Poland is hardly an attack on Poland. It did kill some people, so that is kind of an attack on Poland. And I doubt it was a stray. I don't trust the Ukrainians at all. Aside from the constant lying, they seem to be trying to get more NATO involvement, and they have been for a while. They've been calling on NATO to do first strike on Russia. Yeah, I don't trust the Ukrainians at all. We'll have to get back to. Have to get them back from Israel first. Yeah, maybe. Good derailing, lives in Ohio, checks out. Right? I'm not even in East Palestine, and I'm derailing shit. We do have a weird amount of train derailments here, though. Find that kind of suspicious. That should be Article 5 on Ukraine. Yep, but they're not going to do that because apparently everybody's laundering money through Ukraine. And we have an insane amount of warmongers because, let's face it, war is a great distraction from problems at home. And you can suspend a lot of people's rights and nobody's going to say anything. You think the nuke goes off in Taiwan? Lots of Navy military there. That's a possibility. I think it's going to get real ugly, and you'll have a lot of Axis forces teaming up. America wants Russia gone for resources. Same game, different players. That wouldn't surprise me either because Russia does have a lot of oil, but Europe's so dependent on that would fuck Europe for a couple of years probably before we got our production online. And they're not going to produce anything here. I mean, I saw an article about China restricting rare earth minerals that we need for our microchips for the new, I think it's the F-35. And they're restricting how much of that we can get because they pretty much run all the rare earth minerals. But we've never really looked for any of those here. And they don't allow prospecting anymore, especially on government land. And there's a lot of government land. So we're pretty much just China's bitch now. Again, still, I should say. The Serbs can't abide another world war. They didn't start for no good reason. Look at the Balkans. Yeah, that's a good point, Viking. So, I don't know. Things are kind of ugly over there. Ow. I just got up from a nap. It was awesome.
I don't know what's going on with Rumble. Everything is set up like it should be, and I took everything out, re-put it in, and it's still doing that. I have no idea why it's doing that.
It might be on their end.
Might be. But it does explain why nobody's talked in the Rumble chat yet. I was wondering, sometimes it is a little quieter over there, but yeah. I don't know. For those of you who are trying to watch on Rumble, sorry about that. I have no answer because everything is right. This wasn't a boomer moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. Anyhow, so they're gonna, start World War III because we have a bunch of warmongers in our State Department, in our Pentagon, in our Senate, in our House, in the White House. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, Jack. I can't wait to glow.
Yeah, I'm too old to be fighting super mutants. I have arthritis and all sorts of other problems. I don't want to deal with that.
I just want to be able to blend in with the FBI the way they blend in with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got that glow going on. Got that soul glow.
That's from all the melanin. Because we're space plant people, remember?
It's from the activator. Anyway, let your soul glow. That was, I still haven't watched the second movie. Have you watched the new Coming to America?
No.
I don't know if I can still. I want to. I just don't know if I can bring myself to do it.
No, see, you want to out of nostalgia, but it's not going to be good because all the modern movies, well, the vast majority of modern movies are dog shit, especially if there's a sequel.
Jack, I hear we're boycotting Ben and Jerry's now. I'm not sure why. And I don't really care. And here's why. Ben and Jerry's is shitty ice cream. I've been boycotting it for that reason since the first time I tasted it.
Yeah, I refuse to pay the absurd amount of money they want for mediocre ice cream. I just go get the Purple Cow ice cream from Meyer, and it's way better.
Way back when me and Lady Monkey were just dating, she was a fan of that stuff, being a rich kid and all.
Yeah.
And she kept telling me how good it was. I'm like, all right, I'll try it. And it wasn't just that, expectations weren't met. It was just nasty. Now, The stuff they put in it is sometimes good, like the cookie dough that they put in their cookie dough ice cream. The cookie dough's good. The ice cream around it tastes like shit. Ben and Jerry's want to give the land back. Yeah, on July 4th, they came out with a tweet saying that America is on stolen land and we should give it all back.
Yeah, they're not giving their land back.
Well, an indigenous tribe has come out and said, we want you to give back the land that your factory's on. So balls in your court, Ben and Jerry.
Yeah, they were just virtue signaling little babies.
Oh, yeah.
And I think their ice cream's too mediocre. I mean, some of it's probably good, but it's not worth the price.
Mm-mm.
Fuck them. You're paying for the name brand, just like Starbucks or anything else.
I don't know what it is with how they make their ice cream. It's the ice cream itself I don't like. And all of it has the same texture. Maybe some of the flavors taste good, but the texture's shit. So yeah, I don't. And I brought this up on Twitter too. Cold Stone Creamery, they have the same problem. The toppings and shit you can get there are tasty. The ice cream itself is trash.
I've been to one of their manufacturing plants.
It was another one that was built up to me. Oh, it's the greatest thing. And I tried it, and yeah, the toppings were great, but the ice cream was nasty. I didn't care for it at all.
Yeah, it's okay.
So I'm boycotting both of those, but not for any political reasons. I'm doing it because they don't taste good. Is that a boycott?
No, I think that's just smart money spending.
I'm not buying your shit till it tastes better. That's my boycott. Anyway, I do want to say this about the indigenous land thing. Get over it. Even if you want to say it's stolen land, it's ours now. Sorry.
It's called conquest.
Welcome to the world.
Yeah, welcome to history since the dawn of civilization. That's how humanity works. You don't have to like it. It's just the way it is. Accept it. Move on with your fucking day.
And the Native Americans that are here, by the way, I'm a Native American. I was born here, Jack.
Yeah, I am as well.
The indigenous people. Which one are the indigenous ones?
Which tribe?
Yeah, which one was here first?
I don't know. They conquered each other quite a bit. Just look at the Utes and the Navajo.
Yeah, but calling them indigenous is disingenuous unless you know which one were the first ones here.
Yeah, well, I suspect it was probably reptilian land before they killed all of them and took it. I don't know. We got to give the Sleestacks their land back.
Whichever one was here first, technically, they own all of North and South America because apparently that's how we do it now. And so anybody who came in and took land was stealing it from them.
No, it's no okay war. When they do it.
Even if there was no war, you just took land that should have been theirs.
Nope. It's okay when they do it. It's because you can only go back so far. If you go back to intertribal disputes, then they just ignore that bit.
Aren't they from a line of Aztecs? Well, who was here before the Aztecs? Which of the Chinese or Russians who came across the land bridge there were the first ones to do it? We probably will never be able to know that just because it's too far back. But those would be the indigenous people. Everyone else, they just happened to be here when the Europeans got here. They were conquestors before we were, and we just conquested them. It's the circle of life, Simba. And frankly, they need to knock it off, give us the rest of our land, and just blend. Not give them half of Oklahoma, Jack.
Well, I don't know what to say. We always piss a lot of people off when we talk about this type of subject, but
people don't like to hear that Native Americans should just blend with Americans and get over it. But what about my culture? You don't got to lose your fucking culture. I guarantee you, your fucking forefathers weren't wearing blue jeans, asshole.
Or complaining on the internet.
I don't see you wearing moccasins except for on some ceremonial day. Otherwise, you're wearing Air Jordans, fucker. No, man. I Keep the spirit of my people. Really?
That's why you don't dress like them at all. You haven't gone down and taken out buffalo by yourself.
Hey, I put a feather in my hair and some feathery earrings on. I'm just like Geronimo. I'm just like Crazy Horse. No, you're not. Shut up. You're an American who just refuses to admit it. That's going to get us in a lot of trouble.
That's gonna get you in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, use smoke signals, not internet, right?
Smoke signals was the original Twitter, though, because you had to keep it pithy.
Thank you, Pumpkin Trucker. Ben and Jerry's is not worth the diabetes, and it tastes nasty because of the breast milk. I contend instead of milking cows, they've been milking bulls. That's what I think's happening there with Ben and Jerry's.
That would explain a lot about Ben and Jerry.
I wear Timberland, thank you. Fair enough. Fair enough. But I mean, you ever see them when they go on TV and they'll have? Why do they all wear vests? Why am I every time I see a fucking Native American on TV, he's wearing some blue cowboy shirt and a brown vest? Your forefathers didn't wear that shit, asshole. Stop telling me you're honoring your culture. Your forefathers weren't running fucking casinos. Kiss my ass.
Now, to be fair, depending on the tribe, some of them were from the Southwest, but most of them were not. They were moved there.
They weren't buying, or they weren't making Western clothes.
Oh my God, wait a minute. Do the tribes that were moved during the Trail of Tears have to give up their reservations to the tribes that used to own that land?
Maybe.
Because that's where you get complicated, and that's the part that we don't talk about, is how far back do you go? Because, like the Cherokee used to live on the East Coast through a lot of like Tennessee and Kentucky, South Carolina, that sort of area. And they got moved out west a lot too. So if they are getting their land back out east, do they have to give up the other land? Because I don't understand this. You can't. At what point do you draw a line and say that's enough?
Snubber, thank you so much. A lot of these spiritual indigenous people are atheists and think white people teaching them that two-spirit is trans is apparently culturally accurate. Two-spirit apparently is a thing in some tribes, but all it meant was girly men. It didn't mean a new fucking gender.
It meant you suck at hunting.
Yeah.
It was the F slur of the tribe.
It was them calling you a sissy.
Yeah.
Anyway. I have nothing against Native Americans. You guys, everyone that I've met has always been nice, but this bullshit about it's our culture. Fuck you. You're all talking English.
Well, technically to them that should be English because they're mostly Asian.
You could only speak in your native language and have an interpreter. You guys could still do that. You could revert and not teach your kids English at all. You could do that.
When I worked at Rosetta Stone, they had a cultural project where they maintained several of the original languages for tribes and would only give it to the tribes.
Yeah, so why would they only give it to the tribes?
Racism.
What if I want to learn Mohawk?
Nope. You're not a Mohawk, you bigot.
I don't know what I am. I just want to be able to say, I pity the fool in Mohawk.
You'd be a culturally appropriating Mr. T then.
Oh my goodness. Fuck. We got to get off this subject. I like having a channel.
Yeah, and I suspect we're pissing off a lot of people.
Look, I really do believe that they should just suck it up and join us here in America because they're American. Let's be honest. And you can wear whatever fucking feathers you want. Nobody cares. Compared to blue-haired people, I'll take you and your feathers every day of the week. But it's just like, ribbing the Canadians. I don't hate anybody, Jack. Not as a group. Well, I don't want to say not as a group because Antifa, I definitely hate.
Yeah, they're not people. They're child diddlers.
But things like religion or sex or sexuality, I don't hate these people. I just like fucking with them from time to time.
Yeah.
But no, to the natives in the audience, I am quarter Indian, Jack. You wouldn't know it from looking at me, but I can show you pictures of my mom. You'd be like, oh yeah, okay, definitely.
I just think that we should get to the point where we accept that we're all Americans, regardless of what happened in the past, and have some unification, because we have greater problems than these petty little disputes from 200 years ago that none of us were involved in. And we need to start working together to get back our freedoms.
I want to address what you said there, but in chat, several people have brought up Navajo code talkers. Yeah, but it's not what's still going on. They've all started. Yeah, I'm. They even say I'm honoring my ancestors in English. But you said petty little disputes. At the time, they weren't petty little disputes. But what we've turned them into absolutely is.
Yeah.
Things like the Trail of Tears was fucking awful.
Oh, it's horrific. It never should have happened. But
yes. But none of us did it.
Jackson was a fucking racist who hated Indians.
Yeah. None of us did it, and none of the Indians alive suffered through it. You could make a much better argument that they're still suffering for it more than blacks are from slavery.
Well, that's because the Bureau of Indian Affairs is garbage.
Oh, it absolutely is. Anybody who's like, oh, the government will save us, ask the Indians. Ask them motherfuckers.
Yeah. Honestly, I think a lot of the tribes would do a lot better if they could get away from the Bureau of Indian Affairs.
Yes.
Those fuckers are dragging out all their problems. I'm pretty sure they're running liquor stores, honestly.
Look, I don't want to take any of their land from them. I think it should be divided up amongst their tribe. Those are the people who own it right now. Fine. Fuck it. It's all America now. You guys own that. You can sell it. You can keep it. Whatever the fuck you want to do with it. But we're not going to treat you like separate people anymore. Why is that a bad thing?
I don't know. Oh, real quick. Thank you, Johnny Ocat. Native TikTok is cancer? Oh, I can only imagine. You're not magic. You just have long hair, fruit bar. I'm using that one. Additionally, nice. Camel is older than the concept of two-spirit. Get that shit out of here. Yeah, man. I can only imagine what kind of leftist nonsense is coming out of TikTok with the natives.
Oh, sure.
Oh my God. I'm not prepared to dip into that. No.
And sorry about your coffee table there, Keister. Apparently I made her do a spit take.
Oh.
I'm not sorry. If I made you laugh, that actually makes me happy. I don't know who won the game tonight, and I haven't looked it up, but my Cubbies were beating the Yankees there for at least in the 5th inning.
Oh.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. Pretty nice.
You know who's not playing in that? The Cleveland Indians.
Probably not. Probably not.
You're apparently not allowed to be an Indian anymore.
Yeah, they got rid of the name Cleveland Indians, which pissed me off.
I maintain that's one of the because being an Ohioan, I have to listen to everybody bitch about Ohio teams,
sure,
and occasionally Michigan teams, but oh my God, changing the name from the Cleveland Indians to the Guardians, which is a reference that only people that actually live in Cleveland understand, because there's these two statues on the bridge that are the Guardians. That's where it comes from. Which they had to fight with a rugby team to get the name because nobody bothered to do a trademark search. That's how stupid this whole thing was. Yeah, it's fucking dumb. Go back to the Indians. Bring back Chief Wahoo. He was awesome. Even the natives loved him. And go fuck yourselves. Stop being a bunch of crybabies, you pussies.
That's the thing with both the Indians and the Redskins. The Redskins had a tribe that bought season tickets and were there every fucking game.
Yeah, well, the Redskins was an honorary thing. Like they were trying to honor the tribe, weren't they?
I know I've read the story of how they came up with the name. I don't remember, so I really don't want to talk on it.
That's fair.
But I do know that the tribes that exist now loved them, and it was the dumbass white people like, oh, this is so offensive. Shut up. Stop being offended at everything, you fucking... Oh, I almost dropped the F slur.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Well, that would be actually accurate here. So, stop getting offended on other people's behalf. That's so childish and weird.
No. See, you said on other people's behalf. No. Stop getting offended, period.
Yeah,
Knock it off.
that's never going to happen, though. These people are crybabies.
Wasn't the mascot decal designed by a native? I believe so, but again, don't quote me on it. I want to say yes, but don't quote me on it. What I do know is they went to the fucking games and loved it. And when they went, they dressed in their fucking tribal gear. They weren't offended by it.
No, because it's so childish to get offended by something like that. Especially, oh my God, they wanted to change the Tomahawk missiles
Yes.
and the Black Hawk helicopters. First of all, stop changing cool words to stupid shit. So just leave it alone.
You know,
It's
Black
honorary.
Black Hawk helicopter sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
who wants
it's
to
a
fuck
fat,
with
ugly
that?
bird, but
Yeah.
the Apache is a fucking awesome helicopter, or was. I don't think any of them are in service anymore.
No, but they could make new ones like the
Yeah.
Apache 2.0 or something because it sounds awesome.
Hate Camel says, as an Indian, the only thing I found offensive about the Redskins was how badly they played. Hey, you guys got Super Bowl rings. My Bolts, we're never going to get one. We're going to have to buy them. Have to buy them and make them ourselves.
You're going to have to buy the used ones from the Redskins players.
The players who leave, get drug addicted, and have to sell their Super Bowl rings to pawn shops.
Wow, that's really sad.
It's a real thing, though.
Real quick.
Camel, real quick. He says, not in my lifetime. Really? It was back in the 90s, wasn't it? Go ahead, Jack. I'm sorry.
He's pretty young. I don't know.
Okay.
Thank you, Pumpkin Trucker. Fun story. My wife, North Carolina Cherokee, had taught me a few dirty words for flirting purposes while my son was learning to speak, just so he wouldn't learn naughty words. So for about 6 months, he thought my name was the Cherokee word for dickhead.
Nice.
That's hilarious.
Thank you, Pumpkin Hawk. I'm going to get some sleep. You gentlemen have a good night. I'm donating a feminist $12 for seeing your tweet on liberal and conservative women on Twitter arguing who's a better lay. Oh, thank you so much for that feminist $12. Did you see that argument, Jack?
No, but have a good night, Pumpkin Hawk.
Yeah, have a good night, dude. Let me find that fucking thing. That's a good place to go next. Why not? This woman is absolutely savage, Jack. Where the fuck is it? It wasn't that. Was it at the beginning of my night? Oh yeah, it was. Look at that. Okay, so the first tweet. This is how it starts, and it's stupid. She says, "Urgent message: liberal women are better in the sack." Maybe at one time, but now I would be afraid to have sex with a liberal woman because you're going to catch a charge.
Yeah, get permission every time you thrust. What a hassle.
And this lady shoots back. After your partner signs a consent form to touch you, he has to show his vaccine card and put a mask on before he braves his way through the Ho Chi Minh bush you have down there, and then seizures on top of you for 2 minutes while you lay there like a starfish because you hate intimacy with men more than you hate yourself.
Oh my God, that is such an amazing tweet. And I almost choked on my sandwich when you said Ho Chi Minh Trail.
Ho Chi Minh bush. Fuck.
Yeah, that's awesome. Also, I agree with everything she's just said. They tend to be pretty hairy, have a lot of issues, and I wouldn't trust one to not catch a charge, like you said.
Well, the weird thing, at least, I don't know if it's still this way, but like the weird thing with feminists is they'll shave their bush, but not their armpits.
Oh, you'd be surprised how many of them don't shave the carpet either.
These days, yeah, I mean, because there was the movement that we shouldn't shave. Like, whatever, I don't care what you do with it.
Hairy whores.
You should at least trim, though. That's just good manners, is to have your bush trimmed.
Well, yeah, but they don't have good manners. Hairy legs, hairy armpits, and this big 70s bush. Ugh. God.
But I fucking love this because it literally is two women, one conservative, one liberal, arguing about which one is a better lay. I love this country, man.
I hear you.
Frosted Glass, thank you. Read it wrong. It's liberal women have a sack.
That's true. There might be a surprise testicles there.
Many of them do these days. Many of them do these days, and you gotta check. You gotta pull the Paul Hogan from the original Crocodile Dundee. Don't do that. You're gonna catch a charge. Keldrick, thank you. Nobody ever makes these kinds of complaints about the Vikings. Nobody cares that they're appropriating Norse culture. Nobody offended by that shit, so people can shut up about Indians. Well, we
I
didn't
agree.
we weren't mean to the Norse, so it's okay that we took their land.
Yeah, even though they're the ones that colonized Britain for a long time and
Yeah.
enslaved a lot of the Brits and Celts. No, we don't talk about that.
Well, I mean, we've mentioned this many times because we've had this discussion so many times, but these things are to honor those folks.
Yeah.
It's not an insult to the Indians. You have a mascot that you're proud of, that you want people to get behind and cheer for. You don't pick something that you fucking detest, you dumb sons of bitches.
Well, you know who should be bitching about the Vikings would be the people of Greenland.
Yeah, but nobody cares about them. They're like Canadian light.
Yeah. Well, I mean, worse, they're Dutch.
You see? That's what I'm
Can
saying.
we just conquer Greenland and claim it as a state? Because I know Trump was joking around about trying to buy it, which we should have done, and just told them, "Hey, we're going to buy this," or the military will get involved, and we could have just had it. It'd been awesome. We should be the empire builders everybody bitches about. They keep saying that we're a bunch of colonizers and all this. We should just start colonizing stuff. Fuck it. Be the evil they say you are. Embrace it. Why not? It's all falling apart anyway.
I forgot to archive this story. Medium has started putting a limit on things and make you sign in and shit, and I'm not doing that over there.
Oh, that's gonna make Frosted's days slightly more complicated.
I probably just made an account over there. You don't have to pay for it. I'm just not going through that step. They can kiss my ass. Medium's not worth that to me.
That's true.
So we'll get to the breastfeeding article in a moment. I'm waiting for it to do its thing right now, Jack. So we'll come back to our frosted glass story. Frosted glass. My bad. To our frosted article here in just a little bit. So what do we have until then? Oh, do we want to watch that noodle arm motherfucker? We will, but not yet. I want to save that. That I don't care about that. Oh, let's talk about this idiot woman while we're waiting. Jack, this woman fancies herself as somebody who teaches women how to get men. She's trying to become the Andrew Tate of women, basically. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't read a lot of her stuff. I don't know.
Are we talking about that Pearl chick?
No. That she's trying to become the Andrew Tate of the female Andrew Tate still for men.
Oh,
This chick, let's bring up her profile here. Teaching women to become the best versions of themselves, both mentally and physically, helping women get in touch with their feminine side. Good luck to you. But she tweeted this out today. Men, do yourself a favor. If you own an Android phone, wait at least 3 dates before using it in front of her. I can't even count on my both hands. Sweetie, you really should have kept that sentence all together. I know you're going for this like poetry looking thing, but that looks like you just said you just can't count, even using both hands.
I'm glad she still has both hands, I guess.
I can't even count on both my hands how many stories I've heard from women that curved the perfect man just because he had an Android phone.
What a shallow bitch that would be. Why would you want to date somebody that's like, you have an Android? Ugh.
Yeah, your friends are stupid, honey. And frankly, those men are lucky. They got away from such superficial bitches. And by the way, the Android phone, superior to the fucking iPhone.
Oh yeah, iPhone's trash, man. They're so overrated. You're paying for a status symbol.
Do you remember when the iPhone 7 came out and it was catching up to 3-year-old technology that Android had been using?
Yeah.
They are just so far behind. It is just the status symbol.
Oh yeah, it's all about the status cult, and those are the people you don't want to date because they're going to spend all of your money on trinkets. You are going to be so broke trying to keep up with the Joneses.
At the beginning, yes, the iPhone was the shit because it was a whole new way of doing things. And it was awesome, but they got overtaken very quickly. There's no Apple product, Jack, right now that I would tell people to go spend the extra money on. Not their laptops, not their computers, nothing. Because none of them have an advantage anymore other than the fucking status symbol.
Yep. And they do planned obsolescence, so everything breaks fairly quickly. I would not buy anything by Apple. Fuck the Apple cult. Those people are dumb. Let them waste their money on trinkets and stupid baubles. And they'll find out the hard way that they're just pissing away money.
Frank Hubbard, thank you. They can tell we have Android by text color. You would think so, but apparently they're too dumb and they don't get it until they actually see it in your hand.
Well, that just makes me want to buy like a $10 track flip phone and be like, oh, this is my phone. And then when they're like, oh my God, I'll be like, well, you're not worth the investment.
I really like my $200 Samsung. My son has a Samsung. Me and my other son both have Androids. I love my phone.
Yeah, I have a Samsung Galaxy Android.
So
I love it.
Apple's problem has always been them trying for their exclusivity. Anything that you want to replace or do with an Apple product, you have to do with proprietary parts.
Yeah, it's the old Kodak method. Kodak innovated this shit with photography 100 and some years ago. Like, oh, you want this? Well, you can only get it through Kodak. Oh, you want your film developed? Only through Kodak.
Faithless says
it worked.
Faithless says Apple died with Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs killed Apple. The only reason that it did so well under Steve Jobs, one was the iPhone, the iPod there for just a little while, but those were things they kind of fell into. I mean, that's not where they actually did their innovative stuff. It was supposed to be their computers, right? And they failed at that miserably because with PC, which is basically any other computer, you can just do so much more with it. The only thing Apple had going for it was that it was faster at video processing, and they lost that about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Frank Hubbard, thank you. Apple can't take pictures of the moon. I can. I don't know if I can take pictures of the moon with my phone. I haven't tried. I do know that my phone takes much better pictures than my wife's iPhone, and hers is newer than mine. Johnny Hellcat, thank you. My son had an iPhone 7, but once his Dexcom was Android compatible, that phone hit the road. Yeah. Look, Steve Jobs did great for Apple. He got them a lot of money, but it was mostly status symbol. That's what it was. And that's what it still is. And if you go out on a date, gentlemen, look, you get a date. She's pretty. She's smart and funny. And you're sitting there and you're talking and you pull out your Android. It's like, ew. Get up and leave. Because that is not somebody, like Jack said, she's going to spend all your money. And she's probably going to be a bad lay. All right, Jack. The story's loaded up. Frosted, you're a bastard for sending this stuff to us. I don't know why.
No, you're not. Don't listen to him.
I don't know why I read the shit he sends me.
Because it's funny. I laugh every time you read it because it frustrates you.
Transphobia and motherhood policing. Breastfeeding as perversion. How feminists Rosie Duffield and Julie Bindel led the public witch hunt of Mika Minio Paul. I don't give a fuck. I'm not putting that. I'm getting that other picture off the screen really fast because that's I consider that to be CP, honestly. It all started with a news segment on the rising cost of domestic water charges. In the short segment, broadcast by ITV News, a woman talks. Do you know this story, Jack?
No, but I'm curious what they are defining as a woman.
It's a dude who chest feeds.
Oh, okay.
In the short segment broadcast on ITV, a woman talks about the impact of these rising costs on her family. Segment alternates between the woman talking and clips of her washing dishes and doing some laundry, water-based household chores that we all have to do. The woman featured is Mika Minio Palula. I don't know how you say that shit. And she's pretty qualified to talk about this issue, both as a mother and as the current Trade Union Congress policy officer for industry and climate.
That's a real
Apparently
job.
that, I guess, and apparently that makes you overly qualified to talk about how much the rise in water cost can hurt your family. I feel like all you need for that is, having to pay a water bill.
Yeah. Yeah, which is going up, by the way.
Not for me, man. I don't have a water bill.
Oh, yeah,
There's
you have
so
a well,
many-
don't you?
So many great things about having your own well. But for gender critical activists, the issue with this segment isn't the rising cost of water or the pressure families are facing due to the cost of living crisis and greedflation, or even the fucking greedflation, or even the impending climate crisis lurking in the background of this discussion.
Stay
What
afraid
the-
of Satan.
No, the real issue is the fact that Mika Minio dumbass is a transgender woman. Worse, she dares call herself a mother. Policing language. Of course, gender critical activists and members of parliament for the Labour Party, Rosie Duffield, didn't waste any time pointing this out and initiating a Twitter pile-on as any responsible public representative would have done. Okay. I just want to talk about this for a minute, Jack. They're trying to show how much the rising cost of water is, right?
Yeah.
What do you think the chances are that the first house that they knocked on just happened to be the transgender chick? Like, we're doing a story on this. We were hoping we could talk. You have a family. Do you mind if we talk to you? Or do you think they purposefully went out and found a transgender chick to do the story?
Probably that one.
Probably. Anyway, where are we? Apparently, according to Duffield, Mika isn't allowed to call herself a mother. The gender police have spoken. I mean, you can call yourself a mother, but
Well,
you're a dude in a dress.
Yeah, but aren't the gender police the ones that insist that I have to acknowledge their two-spirit or a wolfkin or some shit?
Yep. Exactly, Faithless. They should call them the reality police. That word is taken, she replied to another Twitter user, as if she has sole responsibility for policing who can or can't be a mother. Well, typically it does involve having that vagina.
Yeah, in a uterus, not one in a jar like on my coffee table.
Yeah, one you're born with. As if the words are a finite resource like water that must be rationed and controlled. No. It's as though words actually have definitions. That's what it's like.
Also, the planet is 3/4 water, so it's not exactly scarce. Bad analogy.
Does anyone have the right to tell a family how they address each other? No, but this wasn't a family addressing somebody. This was her telling the world, I am a mother, and the news putting that out there as though it's true.
Maybe they meant like the global family because it takes a village.
Does anyone have the right to dictate a parent's role in their family? You motherfuckers love to tell me what I'm allowed to say. You love to tell me what I'm not allowed to say. But when it happens to you, when people, and it's not even people telling you, hey, you can't use that word. They're saying use that word properly. Oh, suddenly it's a big deal. Fuck you.
Well, also, isn't the government supposed to be involved in parenting? Well, why is this suddenly a family issue? Isn't this something like they've been telling us for ages that parents are just sort of like babysitters, that children belong to the community?
Does anyone have a right to dictate a parent's role in their family beyond ensuring they meet their parental responsibilities when it has nothing to do with them? I can just see it now. Rosie Duffield admonishing this woman's children for calling their mother mum, all while claiming to be doing so in the name of feminism. Yeah, women are fighting. Women, look, you guys are the majority. I don't understand why you put up with this shit. Women are now literally having to fight for the right to have woman defined. How fucking weird is that?
It's a sad statement on civilization.
Who gets to call themselves mother? This is not a new question. No, because for a long time we understood. This is some shit you guys just made up. That is not a new question, but arguably a subset of the decades-old debate of who is classed as a woman. That is not a decade-old debate. The decades-old part of
3
that,
or 4 years.
yeah, the decades-old part of that is a fucking pedophile who was trying to get people to believe that men can be women and women can be men.
Yeah. Oh,
What's the
real
German
fast.
doctor?
I can't pronounce his name, so
You know what I'm talking about, though.
yeah, the guy that came up with the pedosexual who came up with the terminology.
Yeah. Because
Um,
it starts, of course, with Kinsey and then goes to money and then it goes to this German freak who just takes it and for a long time it was fucking ignored until Tumblr came along. And then suddenly that became the law of the land somehow.
Yeah, because all these kids graduated and got jobs and positions where they could change things.
I'm not
real
sure where
fast.
this is. Go ahead, you first.
Thank you, Keldrick. How dare they accurately say a man can't call himself a woman? Well, that's bigotry, you know.
Bubba McCoy asked, did you get a lot of hand jobs in the 80s? By the end of the 80s, I was 15.
I think he's talking to Paul.
Okay, I'm just answering the question. I've had 2 hand jobs, Jack, and I didn't enjoy either of them because I can do it better.
Longshoreman?
I can do it better.
Well, you know how your equipment. Sometimes it's nice to have a strange.
No,
strange
it's
hand
just
there.
it's frustrating. It's like stop playing around with it. Just get the job done.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
have time for that.
I'm not arguing with you, but you know, sometimes it's nice to get a different person in there. I believe the guy's name was Volker Sigusch, Sigusch.
Could be. Faithless says as foreplay. If you're talking about her just, fondling you and rubbing it a little bit, that's fine. But if she's trying to finish me, no, get if I'll do it. Fuck it. Just sit there and watch. All right, where are we? We could easily replace the word woman with mother in quoting Simon de Beauvoir. Indeed, it might be even more apt. And then she gives this quote from Simone de Beauvoir from The Second Sex. This is a book from 1949. Are we going to use the 1949 standard? Because you don't get a vote, and by psychology rules, you're a crazy woman who wants to have a dick. You just
They'd have been locked up in mental institutions for that.
And depending where you are in the world, you might be going to period tense. Frosted Glass, thank you. I've worked on my technique since then, monkey. Doesn't matter. I'm still better. Now, this is the quote. Woman, very simple. Say those who like simple answers. She is a womb, an ovary. She is a female. This word is enough to define her. I don't know who Simone de Beauvoir is, but I don't care about this quote.
No, this quote is, I can tell you right now, is taken out of context because in the 40s, people talked differently because, evolution of language. What she's talking about there is that women are more than the sum of their internals. It's also the way they think, that they are more than just a meat sack for men's pleasures. What she's trying to say. This person is extrapolating that into something totally different.
Yeah, this is from a book called The Second Sex. And yeah, I agree with you. When I'm reading it, that's what I get, is that she's making the argument that women are not just baby factories, that they are people. And this chick is like, see, she's saying women aren't just people with ovaries. That's not what she's saying, bitch. Anyhow.
Yeah, come on. Women are people. Really? Let's not get carried away.
Duffield and others, those who prefer simple answers, you mean definitions,
Rational people, yeah.
have been quick to revert to their usual biological essentialism. Only a biological woman, biological being a modifier that implies there are non-biological women. Well, we'll get back to that. Or an adult human female, a circular definition, can be a mother. How is adult human female a circular definition for woman? Do you understand what a circular definition is? It's a definition that includes the fucking word, you retard. That's this. Matt Walsh gets into this with that sociology fucking retard in his movie What is a Woman? And the guy goes, "What is a woman?" He goes, "Well, I mean, a woman is a woman." He goes, "That's a circular argument. That's not a definition. Only someone who gives birth can be a mother." Nobody's ever said that. Nobody's ever said that.
Nope.
Okay, maybe not nobody.
Well, still, you're talking about like extremist men's rights people that say that shit. This is a straw man, a convenient straw man.
You have stepmoms, foster moms, adoptive moms. Nobody's running around, "Hey, you're not a real mother." That's not an argument that's going on. Stop it. That's a straw man, is what that is. She said, "Of course, that's obviously not true." Way to beat up your straw man.
Okay. Oh, man, I feel bad for Scarecrow. He always gets a beating.
An adoptive parent can be a mother. Oh, God, she's using my arguments. The non-birthing female parent in a lesbian couple can be a mother. A stepmother can be a mother. Nobody's policing these women when they call themselves mothers, and quite rightly so. Yeah, because they're women, you fucking retard. Clearly being a mother isn't just about giving birth. People don't stop being a mother the second a child is, or what? People don't stop being a mother the second a child is born. What? Really, that's just the start. No shit.
I don't know what they're trying to say here.
Don't get me wrong, pregnancy is no easy thing, nor certainly is labor, but after that comes years of hard work to raise a child. Mothering, you might call it. Or fathering.
Parenting.
Parenting, yeah.
Yeah. Fathering sounds dirty.
Mothering. She gives us the definition of mothering from the Cambridge English Dictionary. It says, mothering, the process of caring for children as their mother, or of caring for people in a way that a mother does. Yes. You don't have to be a mother to be mothering. It's a behavior. You ever, Jack, as a grown-ass adult, had somebody who was mothering you who's not your mother, and you're just like, stop, please?
Yes. If you date single women with kids, a lot of times they will treat you like a child.
Yeah.
Because that's how they treat their kids. So they just sort of treat you the same way. And they'll condescend you the same way. So, yes.
Mothering is about a lot more than being able to give birth. It's about caring for a child. What if you're mothering to a grown person? Her arguments are shit, Jack. I want to talk to this person.
Why? They sound really dumb.
Oh, because I think it would be funny for the audience.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean,
remember,
we could just talk to Hunter Avalon again.
If you ask me why I want to behave in a certain way, it's because I think it's funny. That's always the reason. Just throwing that out there. Providing for them, nurturing them, and raising them to be a healthy, happy adult. What does that have to do with biology? Nothing. We're talking about mother, not mothering, you fucking dumbass. Way to move the goalpost. You took the noun and then was like, let's use the adjective instead. Did you see that switch she did there, Jack?
Yeah,
That
yeah. Well,
little trick of language she just pulled there.
it's
This should
amazing
be
how
on
much these
yesterday's.
people love linguistics.
Yeah, this should be on yesterday's show on how to talk like a lefty.
Yeah.
All right, where are we? Of course, the attempt by Duffield and others to police the word mother has nothing to do with biology. Yes, it does. It's inherently political. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's grammatical. It's not fucking political. A deliberately exclusionary act which seeks to deny the lived reality of transgender mothers to erase their existence. It doesn't erase their existence. It just acknowledges reality. Those are two different things, okay? If you're trans and I say, actually, you're biologically male because you're like, I'm a woman. I'm not erasing your existence with that. I'm just pointing out reality. You're still there in a dress with a baby sucking on your nipple, but it's just reality. As Judith Butler writes, oh gosh, I fucking hate people like this, Jack. Look, it's okay to have your own ideas. You don't look, this is some fucking recent graduate from college or somebody who spent way too much fucking time there.
Yeah.
Learn to speak for yourself, people. It is okay occasionally to quote people. But so far, first two things we've got quoted, the dictionary and that other thing, have nothing to do with what the fuck she's talking about. She's just doing it because look how smart I am.
I'm super smart. Give me an A.
I did research. Look at the bibliography. As Judith Butler writes, and again, we could fittingly replace the word women with mother. This is the Judith Butler from Gender Trouble in 1990 from the 2007 edition, page 19, paragraph 2, Jack. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's a fucking college person right there. I hate you college-educated fucks. Not all of you, Jack.
No, you have good reason when they talk like this. It's that sense of superiority. Well, see, I've read Judith Butler, so if you had been aware of her work, you would know.
The category of women is normative and exclusionary and is invoked with the unmarked dimension of class and racial privilege intact. And we get an ellipses, then goes on to the category of women has effectively refused the multiplicity of culture, social, and political intersection in which the concrete array of women are constructed. I don't even know what the fuck that's supposed to mean.
It means, look how smart I am. I can make gibberish sentences that that could have been constructed better using simpler techniques. But people are lazy and they're taught to write like this. It's not that I get really pissed off about it or anything. But thank you, Frosted Glass. Monk says that if you ask why he does something, it's because he thinks it's funny. Then he asks why I send him articles that piss him off. We're not so different, you and I.
Fair enough. That is a fair point.
Yeah.
It goes on to say, it's interesting to note that the online criticism of Mika have questioned the legitimacy of her class status as well as her motherhood. That is not interesting to note at all. We are the law. Nonetheless, Mumsnet. Okay, Mumsnet are a bunch of shitbags. They really are. Mumsnet users were quick to highlight that the legal definition of mother entails someone who has given birth. And they're right, legally speaking. Well, that's the end of the argument, right?
You're funny.
But legal definitions aren't set in stone. They're changeable, mutable, if you will. Try that in court. If you're talking about legal definition, try that shit in court. You go in to the judge and just start speaking fucking gibberish.
Yeah, start trying to sound really smart to a judge, and you're going to get the book thrown at you.
Up until fairly recently, same-sex partners couldn't legally be called parents or consequently be conferred parental rights, for example. The law changes to reflect people's lived reality. No, not the other way around. References to punitive legal authority, be that litigiousness, or appeal to, what the word fuck is that word? Carcerality?
Oh yeah, this is a college student.
Sure. Is a favorite of the gender critical crowd. Yeah, stop using the fucking thesaurus and actually think. Just think. It's one of the reasons queer people shouldn't lean too heavily on the law to protect us. In the past, you know what? You know what? I'm getting tired of articles like this. I'm getting tired of every time we see one of these fucking articles, you'll see a sentence like this. Queer people, they always include themselves in the article. You don't see that with like people going, as heterosexuals. You know what I mean?
As normal people.
But every goddamn story we read like this, we got to hear about how they are gay too. Yeah, we got it from the fucking article.
And from your catty bitchiness.
Christ, I expect you're beating your girlfriend right now. That's how gay I think you are. Those in positions of authority are using the law to oppress us again. Yes, you're being oppressed because as a dude, they're saying you're not a mother. I hope you get reparations from it. Toby just doesn't understand the fucking pain you're going through.
Please stop giving them ideas.
Many of Rosie Duffield's more observant gender-critical followers were quick to notice that the segment featured Mika contained a breast pump in one of the shots. That's true.
Oh.
According to them, this was being used as a prop to imply that this woman is a woman, which it wasn't. Now, I'm sure they're going to get into it, but Mika says that breast pump actually belongs to their roommate. But wait for it. Which it wasn't. Mika explained that the breast pump is not hers, but a housemate who is currently breastfeeding. Nonetheless, she went on to say she had previously breastfed her own child for 4 months before having to stop due to a cancer relapse. No, you didn't. You did not feed that child with your titty because you're a dude. What you did was let an infant suck on your nipple to make you feel better. You're a pedophile. You were getting gratification from an infant sucking your nipple. You should be in jail.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
That was too much for the gender-critical crowd who erupted in full-throated, ignorant outrage. To paraphrase, though only very, very slightly, this is child abuse. A man can't produce milk. Worse, this man is a pedophile. That child is being used as a prop in his fantasy. And finally, this man should be arrested, proclaimed arch-transphobe Julie Bindel, a direct quote this time. Yeah, dudes cannot feed a baby for 4 months with their titty. You can't. You'll kill the child.
You're a monster.
You'll kill the child if you can't actually produce milk. Yes, the gender critical mob and their patriarchal comrades, as always, so many are cis men, demanded that a woman be arrested for the crime of feeding her baby. No, for the crime of having an infant give them pleasure through a secondary sexual characteristic. The baby's getting nothing out of that. The only one getting anything out of that is the dude who's deriving pleasure from it. They should be in jail. Period. That's not even a fucking discussion. All you fucking assholes out there, believe the science. How about the science of the fact that a man cannot produce milk, let alone 4 months worth of it? One Twitter user went as far as to report Mika to the NSPCC, National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. Good. The NSPCC calmly explained that a woman breastfeeding her child does not constitute a safeguarding risk. But it's a dude breastfeeding a child. Trans women can produce breast milk.
I'm so tired of this argument.
They can do so using the Newman-Goldfarb protocol, the same method used to induce lactation in other non-birthing cisgender mothers. Non-birthing cisgender mothers have the material to produce milk, you fucking retard.
They have all the necessary bits in their memories.
It involves a combination of estrogen, progesterone, both naturally occurring hormones present after giving birth, and anti-nausea drug domperidone. Even the Daily Mail took time to describe the process, though ultimately with some misleading caveats. All right, I want to see it. Let's see it.
Let's scientifically test that liquid coming out of your nipple.
Let me see it. You ever notice you don't see lactating videos of these guys?
Your hate facts have no place here, sir.
Somebody
Sir,
thank you so much.
identifying person.
At this point, it's a novelty anyways. Most cis women buy that crap anyways. My mom said breastfeeding was annoying to do every time anyway. The boys didn't take to breastfeeding, but my daughter was. And yeah, that was, I mean, it's not easy. Luckily, she was a stay-at-home mom, so she didn't have to pump or anything. But like if my daughter hadn't eaten in a while, my wife's boobs hurt because they're filling up with milk, because women can do that.
Yeah.
And every time we went somewhere, of course, the baby needs fed every now and then. And so got to make sure that you have the covering and everything, have a place for her to go do it. And yeah, it's not fun unless you're a dude pretending to be a girl. And that way you can see, I am a girl.
Yeah, look, a little LARPing goes a long way because it's gender affirming to breastfeed a baby for some reason.
The first case of a transgender woman inducing lactation to feed her baby recorded in the medical literature was in 2018, with reported cases as early as 2010. We've done the reported cases go back to like the 1940s. We've done the research and we know it's safe. Trans women using the Newman-Goldfarb method is no different to a cis woman because the breast tissue of a trans woman who has undergone gender-affirming hormone therapy is identical to that of a cis woman. Nutritionally, the milk is also identical to that produced by a cisgender woman. We read that stupid-ass article.
Yeah.
And of course, breastfeeding has benefits for mother-child. Fuck you. This is pedophilia being disguised as science. Go fuck yourself.
Yep.
I ain't reading any more of that.
The problem with the trans community right now is you've got these pedo interlopers that are taking over the movement and regressing any progress they've made by these insane claims. Like there are limitations on what you can and can't do. I'm sorry, it's just the way life is. The sooner you accept that, the happier you're going to be. And by putting this nonsense out there, you look silly, and it makes people lose any kind of not only trust, but any support they would have given you. This is just yet another article that's going to help diminish the support of the actual trans community.
All right, I'm looking into her sources here. This is the 2018 article. Earlier this year, the medical journal Transgender Health. Oh, fuck you. Snubber, thank you. I've only briefly read the study. Does it actually work? Says it only takes a month on the drugs. Well, here's what they say. Published a case study that grabbed headlines everywhere, documenting how a New York transgender woman was able to use a regimen of drugs to induce lactation and become her child's only source of nutrition for 6 weeks. It was hailed as the first formal report in the medical literature of induced lactation in transgender women, as authors Zil Goldstein and Dr. Tamar Resman told the Times. Yet this was no news to many within the trans feminine community, where it has been widely understood that trans women can breastfeed for years. What, they all just chose not to do it? Oh, fuck right off. This is so fucking stupid.
A bunch of pseudoscience.
All right. Our report, this is the actual abstract report. Our report describes a case. Oh, I could share that. There's no reason I can't. This is what Monkey does in his off time. I read this is why I get so annoyed, Jack, like with the Fox article the other day. If you're giving me links to stuff that's supposed to back up your claim, it should be for what's backing up your claim.
Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you, mister?
A 30-year-old transgender woman who had been receiving feminizing hormone therapy for the past 6 years presented to our clinic with the goal of being able to breastfeed her adopted infant. After implementing a regimen of the things that we said earlier and breast pumping, she was able to achieve sufficient breast milk volume to be the sole source of nutrition for her child for 6 weeks. Yeah, I want to see the milk.
I want to see the study of the liquid, like what chemical composition, that sort of thing. Was this actually breast milk, or was this something else entirely?
Did you guys actually have her under surveillance for all 6 weeks?
Probably not.
Patient. Oh, she's reading all this stuff. We believe that this is the first formal report in the medical literature. Yeah, because the rest of it's made up. I mean, they're giving what they say is the regimen, and said I'm still calling bullshit, Jack.
Oh yeah, if they're not going to tell you what the chemical composition of this breast milk was, under scientific scrutiny, I'm not buying it.
They have said before that we've tested the lactation. This mentioned in that article we just read. It is breast milk. Fuck you. Bullshit.
Yeah,
let me see him lactate. You know what a woman who is breastfeeding can do? She can take her titty and shoot milk.
Yeah.
They can actually shoot it. Let me see it. Frosted Glass, thank you. Breast milk version of the Pepsi challenge. No, let me see it. Let me see it. No, it happened. Trust us. Sure it did. Sure it did. Anyhow.
It should be repeatable then.
It absolutely should be. And again, it should be not just repeatable, but with visual proof.
Yeah. They should have slides of what a biological woman's breast milk composition is compared to what this person's is. And it should look identical. But I haven't seen that yet.
So we got a jobs report today, Jack. And it looks good if you don't actually pay attention to it.
It's usually how it works with the jobs report.
Well, it tells us that over the last 2.5 years, Joe Biden has brought in 13.7 million jobs.
Because he's a hero.
13.7 million. Now, if you subtract the 10 million that were lost because of the pandemic when we just shut everything down so people couldn't go work, that's 3.7 million, which, if you divide that by 2.5 years, is less than 150,000 jobs created each month. There is no economist in the world who would say less than 150,000 jobs each month is good. Not one. Less than 200,000 is bad. 200,000 isn't even good. But unemployment is down, and I forget the other stuff. A very excited young man is going to tell us about it. This is This fucking retard. I forget his name. He's one of those two douchebags. What happened to the other one? I haven't seen him around for a while. Did he finally get hit by a car or something?
Maybe.
Not that I want him to. I just think he's dumb enough to be playing in the street.
A lot of that going around these days.
All right. So this very excited millennial idiot is going to tell us about the Bidenomics, Jack.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I'm still riding with Biden. Unemployment has been below.
You're like 19 and you think it's cool to say riding with Biden. Dude, you should be out there trying to get laid.
Take a look at that dude's hair. He ain't trying to get laid.
No, his hair is done like a Disney star from the 1990s.
Yeah. He's got like a Bieber hairdo from the first album. This is probably as exciting as this kid gets, and it's sad. He's just a sad little shill.
4% for the longest stretch in 50 years. Inflation is half what it was a year ago.
All right, let's talk about that. Inflation is half of what it was a year ago when it was inching up on 12%. You know what that means, Jack? That means it's around 6%, which is fucking horrible, you dickhead.
Yeah,
and again,
but he's stupid to know that.
That's cumulative. It's not like that 12% went away. It's still there. And now we're adding another 6 on top of it, you dumb fuck. God, I hate you retards. Anyhow.
Wages are going up, beginning to outpace inflation. Combine this with the fact that Biden has added 13 million jobs to the economy.
13.7, dickhead.
In 2.5 years. That's more than any president in 4 years. But
well, no other president has had the option of just turning the economy back on like this.
Oh, look, your hate facts, they have no place here. Nuance, what is that?
The fact that it's only 13 million should be scaring economists, because that should be closer to 15, 16 million, because that first 10 doesn't count. It just doesn't. Sorry. We let people go back to work. Look how great I did for the economy. Fuck you. Anyhow, wait for it.
Bidenomics, I think so.
God, young people are so fucking dumb.
I need to back that up just a sec. If he keeps hitting that thing, because he's done it in another video, he's gonna knock his arm straight off.
Well, they're made of like little sticks, so
he's lucky that his other arm is no stronger than this one, or he would have hurt himself.
I don't know. That might be his jerkin arm, where he gives handies and glory holes or something. Allegedly.
You are not the kind of guy who can slap your arm in a way, like in a macho way.
No, he claps his hands like a woman.
You don't have muscles, motherfucker. Jack, I'm crippled and haven't done much for 8 years, and I have a bigger bicep than this fucker.
Right? It's just sad. Like, he's just such a little wiener.
He is. I cannot imagine Jack being his age and being this into politics.
I mean, I guess that would be okay if he actually like knew anything, but he's dumb.
Nope. Whether it's young Republicans or retarded young Democrats like that, I don't get it. I don't get it. This is the time you're supposed to be having some fun in your life. You got the rest of your 20s and your 30s to get into the politics stuff. You should be starting politics here, not trying to tell other people what politics is. Kelby, thank you. He's trying to get laid. Look how hard he's trying to suck Biden's dick. Fair. He's a paid shield. He's not into it. No, I think he's still into it. He's paid also. You can be paid and into it.
Yeah. Like usual, this is probably to impress some dude or chick.
Dude, that guy's gay as the day is long, man.
I agree, but maybe he's trying to get makeup tips from somebody. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyhow, let's see. Oh, I do want to talk about this just briefly. Have you heard of the movie Sound of Freedom?
Yes, yes, it actually looked pretty good.
Sound of Freedom is about a guy who goes and challenges child traffickers.
Yeah, he started out working to try and catch predators online, but he felt like it wasn't actually saving anybody. You know, he was just busting people that had CP. So he quits his job and goes out and starts actually rescuing children. The real person this is based on has kind of a sketchy history, but
and that may be so, but that's not in the movie, right?
correct.
He's presented better than that.
Yeah, the
But-
movie is really interesting looking, I think.
But not for our press, Jack.
Of course not.
Our press has a different take on a movie about somebody who fights child trafficking. In this case, we're going to look at the Rolling Stone article, but there are many examples of shit like this. Sound of Freedom is a superhero movie for dads with brainworms. The
What?
QAnon-tinged thriller about child trafficking is designed to appeal to the conscience of a conspiracy-addled boomer.
Are they pro child trafficking?
Yes.
It sounds like that.
Snubber, thank you. I'm told apparently they had to supplement with formula in that formal study 6 weeks. It's Twitter, but they claim it's from the study document. I guarantee you that child was fed formula.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
guarantee it. Men cannot, even if you could produce milk, we do not have the proper ability to make enough to feed a child. Even a guy with big old fat titties, that is not the mammary tissue. It's just fat.
They probably look like Boogie's tits.
They probably do. But yeah, the press out there is very mad that there's a movie about stopping child predators. It's weird.
Well, let's face it, a lot of lefties these days are child predators. How many Antifa were on the sex offender registry that we looked up? We keep seeing people pushing sexualized behavior around kids, drag shows, drag story hour, all these so-called trans people coming out wanting to be around kids and talk to them about their genitals. The books that are coming out, like Lawnmower Boy or whatever it was called, Lawn Boy.
Oh yeah.
How much more do they have to say? They even chant at Pride marches now that they are coming for your children. So how much more do you need to know before you just accept that they're a bunch of pedophiles running these movements?
Yeah, so I love when they tell on themselves, which is what I consider this. And I'll throw this into chat for you guys if you want to actually read this fucking garbage. But yeah, apparently all of our press is upset. Wait, is Rumble working?
It processed the first half hour of the stream. Probably gonna have to upload it over there.
That's kind of weird. Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll just upload the whole thing. Sorry about those for those of you who are over there that it's working that way. Our press is trash, Jack.
Absolutely.
They're pedophile supporting trash. And I don't like them.
Oops.
All right. Jack, we don't have much time. Do you have Mom Millennial from yesterday?
Yes.
I promised them we'd get to it today if we could. And I try to keep my promises. Snubber, thank you. At 6 weeks, the patient began supplementing breastfeeding with 4 to 8 ounce of Similac brand formula daily due to concerns about insufficient milk volume. I'm going to say again, during that study, that child was being fed formula. I guarantee it. There ain't no way that a man can feed a baby like that. We
No.
we wouldn't be able to produce enough milk. You know, I don't care how much water you need, Jack. If somebody only gives you a 1 ounce bottle of it, you're never going to get more than that 1 ounce bottle. Even if you refill it, you slowly refill it over the whole rest of the day. You're only getting 1 ounce because it can only hold so much.
You're a monster.
I know. The link. Case report, induced lactation. This is the same thing that I had already seen. Yeah, like I said, I'll have to go through that whole thing. I don't believe them. I don't believe them. Anyhow, Jack, because you ever see a chick with really tiny boobies and then she has a baby?
Yeah, and then they swell.
They swell up. That doesn't. You ever seen a transgender man with his boobies swollen?
I've
Nope.
never seen that.
Anyhow, let's get some Momlennial up in this bitch and bring this show to a close. It's been a fun one. I've enjoyed it. Oh God, it just starts off with the myth of ancient Rome. Oh, Momlennial, I love you, guys. It's Rome Girls. Go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't familiar with the reality of Rome Girls, so I thought I'd bring the primer.
Yes.
This is a newer video, but it summarizes some of her older work, which is lost to time, sadly.
This is Momlennial.
All right, folks, let's go over this one more time. What do I mean when I say that Rome doesn't exist?
All right, on the screen it says more details, including peer-reviewed evidence, at my blog, fogofhistory.com. Sweetheart, all of your evidence is just bullshit, okay? I love you. You're retarded, and I like that in a woman. But, good God.
I'm going to try to hit all of the highlights. 1, do I mean that literally the Roman time period did not exist? No. What I mean is, archaeologically speaking, Roman culture doesn't exist.
Who took over Great Britain?
The circus.
The circus.
It's probably the Greeks.
No, nobody thought that you meant the Roman time period didn't exist. It's not like we think time just skipped for a while.
Well, I rule nothing out with this lunatic, so.
I mean, maybe she thought that, but that's not what anybody's said. Nobody's been like, yeah, hey, look, hey. All that BC shit didn't actually exist. Unless you're like, the Hasidic Jews, or who are the people who believe that we're only 6,000 years old?
Oh, there's several groups that think that.
Anyhow.
Some of the fundamentalist Christians.
They have no unique material culture. Anything you can think of that has been designated as Roman came from either Greece, Turkey, Asia, or Egypt. This includes things like the aqueducts.
We saw her video on the aqueducts earlier. Now, notice she says things like the aqueducts, and then in brackets, she has concrete. All right. Her evidence for this is that there have been some findings that suggest Syria had some form of concrete before the Romans did. 2 things. 1, her examples for that were pictures of brick and mortar. I'm not sure how that meant concrete. And 2, that doesn't mean the Roman aqueducts weren't built with concrete. That it doesn't deflate the aqueducts at all, you fucking idiot. God, she's so dumb.
Their clothing style, the style of their buildings, their gods, everything. 2, what about the Byzantine Empire or the Ottoman Empire? Neither of those groups were Roman.
The Byzantines were absolutely Romans.
All right.
They were Greco-Turkic in the former case and Persian and Asian in the latter.
I've never heard anyone say the Ottomans were Roman.
Me neither. But apparently they were Persian Asians that we pretended are Roman. This woman is insane.
Case. 3, what about the entirety of the written historical record?
Oh, she's going to do it. She's
Yep.
going to do it. Oh, I love this part.
I am sorry to break the news to you, but we have 0 original copies of anything. Any Roman author you can think of, we have no record of their original manuscripts. All we have are medieval copies written in.
Are they copies or are they new originals?
In
She does.
the 14th, 15th, 16th centuries that can be dated. And those were written by the church in scriptoriums.
This is where she gets her whole idea is that Rome was invented by the Catholic Church during the Spanish Inquisition. It's astounding.
And they burned the originals. Now, this is weird because we do have documentation from civilizations that are older than Rome. Or
Church didn't destroy those.
what about places like the Colosseum or Trajan's Column or Roman inscriptions written on things?
Oh no.
You cannot radiocarbon date stone. The Colosseum has no artifacts that can be radiocarbon dated because it was looted. Trajan's Column matches another column from Greece.
We know the Romans copied the Greeks. Fuck, they stole their gods from them. And a lot of their architecture is similar. I hate her. I hate her.
You love her. What are you talking about?
I love her, but I hate her because she's so dumb.
Indicating that it was dragged there. The thing on top of it is a statue of the Pope, added much later. Inscriptions don't have geological weathering on them.
She didn't do there's no Roman writing. Oh, I was waiting for that.
They were added much later. 5, what about ancient Chinese mentions of the Great Roman Empire? Those don't exist. They mention the Great Syrian Empire. And we have no idea how advanced Syria was because they've been at war for forever and archaeologists can't get in. 6, what about the city of Rome? The city of Rome was created by the Vatican after the Great Western Schism. It was cow fields until the 1500s.
What? Oh, fuck me. I had never heard this part before, Jack.
Real quick. Thank you, Keldrick. I was watching a history YouTuber the other day, and he was having an aneurysm because of this woman. Yeah.
So, wait a minute. She used to tell us that Rome did at least kind of exist because they were a circus and bread, is what she said.
Yeah, the city existed, and what we call Rome was actually a circus outside the city.
And now she's telling us, no, it was cow fields. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
7, where did we get this information from about Rome then? Mussolini and other fascists.
Well, that's a new one.
Well,
So-
look, you gotta get a new twist sometimes.
So the Vatican in the 14th, 15th, and 16th centuries invented all of the Roman writing. They wrote all the Roman books.
Uh-huh.
But the story of Rome comes from Mussolini?
Well, yes, clearly.
I just don't understand. She changed her stories in there, Jack.
A little bit.
I'm so disappointed. Because she told us that the Colosseum used to be low rent apartments.
Yeah, but that was built by the Greeks.
Oh my God. That's a true story, guys. She told us that the Colosseum was low rent apartments.
That video is probably still up, actually.
I fucking love that one. That's one of my favorites. It's like, no, you see, because maybe some plants could have been grown here. Like, what?
Yeah, because there's no plants inside buildings ever.
Oh, I fucking hate this one. Mussolini was famously part of the Spanish Inquisition. Yes, yes. It's not talked about much because of the whole World War II thing, but yeah, he was part of the Spanish.
It's a little known fact that he was a time traveler.
What was the name of her website?
Fog of History or something like that.
Fogofhistory.com. I wonder if that's still up.
This video's not that old, so it should be.
Let's see. Fog of History. History is written by the survivors. There's no reason you guys can't see this. Hopefully there's no titties on it. I don't know if she'll show like Aboriginals or something. Once upon a time, photographer Carl Campbell, perhaps one of the good God, she doesn't use punctuation, Jack. One of the most recognizable phrases in the English language, one that signals the reader or listener is about to be told the tale of mythical legends where the heroes always win. And in the year 2022, it could also indicate one is about to read a book about human history. Oh, I hate this woman so much. Oh, but look at her. Hi, Donna. It's on her page. I can call her by her name. I am a formerly entertainment journalist who double majored in anthropology, specializing in archaeology and history. While I left college at the end of my junior year due to life circumstances, I utilized my knowledge to cover the overarching mythologies of Star Wars and Game of Thrones through a historical lens. By the way, you guys should see some of her older videos. As a lifelong student of the latest news and discoveries in the field of archaeology, this blog is where I dissect how scientific revelations shift our understanding of human history. Yeah, Donna's insane. Double majored with 0 degrees. True. But hey, she had kids. She had 2 kids, so obviously she kept up with all the latest archaeological information.
Do you think she homeschools?
Probably. But I like how she takes her, what is it? Archaeology and history learning and applied it to Star Wars.
You know, like you do. Because Star Wars is, it's like Rome.
Hey.
It's a true story to some people. I don't know.
Star Wars started a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
That's true. It could be a documentary.
Does she have an about link? Oh, okay. Wow. She has nothing in the Stone Age. All right. I'll have to. Why does that open a whole new browser instead of just opening in the? You've learned to code your fucking website, lady. You're gonna make me hate you.
Remember, guys, don't tip the lol cow. Just admire from the distance.
How many vibrators do you think she has? Probably none. She has a husband, believe it or not, and I'm sure she. What's the word I'm looking for here, Jack? Pleasures herself with his member.
Yeah, I don't know. She probably lays her like a sack of wheat.
No, I bet he does because I've seen her husband. I'm fairly certain he's gay.
Yeah, that's probably true. I've seen him too. Oh, thank you, Retro Gamer. Nobody expects the MITAM Inquisition. Our weapons are sarcasm, humor, and a fanatical devotion to the monkey.
True.
It's accurate.
Oh man, I do love her, but only because she's so goddamn dumb. There's no getting around that fact, Jack.
It's really not.
She never provides actual evidence.
Ooh, citations?
When she does try to, it's either completely irrelevant to what she's talking about, like what we saw with the concrete.
Yeah.
Because, again, even if the Syrians had concrete before the Romans, it doesn't mean the Romans didn't use it to build the aqueducts.
Yeah.
The aqueducts are there. So if it's a cow field until the 1500s, who built that shit? Oh, well, we can't carbon date it. You can find stuff there to carbon date.
Obviously, the Syrians did it.
This woman's an idiot. Unfortunately, she didn't repeat my favorite thing that she's told us before, and that is that Rome wasn't real because we haven't found any Roman writing. On the buildings and stuff, there's no Roman writing like there is in Greece. She never questions the chiseling of any writing in Greek.
No.
Which is weird because it's in stone, which she tells us can't be carbon dated. So how does she know that wasn't done during the Spanish Inquisition? But she literally told us that there was nothing written in Roman. Roman was never a language. It's still not a language, Jack.
No, it never was. It was Latin.
They spoke Latin. So, yeah. Oh, I love her for being so dumb. Guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. We're going to have to wrap this one up. Thank you for the donations. You guys are awesome. Please remember to hit that like button on your way out if you haven't done so already. Share us with your friends, your family, and that bitch you hate. Get them here watching next time. Send the link to them. They'll enjoy it. Jack, anything you want to show?
I'll drop a link in the chat. Thank you so much for all the donations. You guys are awesome. Sorry to the Rumble people where things went kind of sideways. But, your donations are always appreciated. Thank you for those. And thank you for coming out and watching the show, guys.
Jeff asked if I checked out the clip that he sent me. I'm not sure. Which clip was it? Look, when people send me stuff, I try to watch everything. I don't always get to, but I rarely remember who actually sent it to me. So you have to, if you want to know if I saw something, you got to give me a little more to go on than that. Thank you all for watching. Jack, a pleasure as always, my friend.
Oh, always glad to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful night. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
Rome girl, why you so dumb? If you were here, I'd let you sit on my thumb. I'd have you spin a little bit, and then I'd spit. This is fucking going bad. Bye, guys. Take care.